Okay, so now in the same manner we can execute the non-primitive types, but don't really think of it too much right now, as we're gonna explain them like I mentioned in the future. I'm just gonna touch on them really quick just to show you the implementation of them and the difference between both of them, because we're gonna compare the primitive and non-primitive types after I finish from this. So the non-primitive types, okay, we can begin with an array, for example, and you get to choose the type of the array, whether it's a string, for example, you can just string, or integer, or double, anything really, it doesn't matter. And then the two brackets, okay, and then the name, let's choose the name numbers, and then equals new integer of size 5, that means it will contain 5 elements, and then like 80, 97, 43, and 12. Okay, these are 4. That is why it shows us the squiggly line. And then let's choose 65 perhaps. Alright. And as you can see, this is grayed out, meaning we don't really need it. We can just remove it and keep this, and it will work just fine. Okay, what else? We have the list, for instance, and the list is the flexible type in the data structure more than the numbers, because in the array, once we explain the array, you get to know that the size is really fixed. It's not dynamic. We cannot add to it or remove from it. We can only add elements as the size allows us to add, but we cannot exceed that element. We cannot adjust the length or the size of the array. While in the list, we can definitely adjust the length of the list or the size of the list. And let's choose integer equal new integer, and then of course we can start adding like the numbers. Let's just, for variety and diversity, let's choose string, and we can add the colors. Okay, and then we have red, green, and blue. Okay, we have also something called dictionary, and it stores keys and values, and then the key integer, for example, and the value is a string, and we can name this students, and in the students we say new dictionary. Okay, integer string, and okay, then we add, for example, number 1, the name of the student is Alice. And then we say number 2, the name of the student is Bob, and so on. Okay, don't forget the semicolon by the end of each line, and since we added this in multiple lines, it's alright, we just add the semicolon at the end of this line. Okay, we have also the class, and the class should be a separated entity by itself. We can add a class named person, for example, and then this person, we can add the name of this person, string name, and maybe integer age. Okay, and then we can identify an instance or an object of this class, person equal new person. Okay, and then of course, like, we can choose to name this person dot name and equal John, for instance. Okay, and yeah, I forgot that we should add the access modifier to this, which is public, meaning we can access this from anywhere. And now we can say like person.age equal 25. All right. Okay, now we can also display them. Display the non-primitive types. We can begin by console.writeLine the non-primitive types, and then an array. Okay, and in order for us to present the data in the array or the values of the array, we need something called for each or for loop. And this for loop, meaning every time it will visit one index and it will present the value of this index. And since this index starts from 0, because this is 5, right? So it starts from 0 to 4. And if it was 10, it will start from 0 to 9 and so on. So we should start it from 0 to the length minus 1 or 4. Okay. And then we present each and every value in this index, in this specific index. So we can achieve it in both ways, for each or for. Okay. And we call for loop as well. I'm just going to choose for each, and then we can say like integer of item in numbers, and then console.writeLine, and then the item. Okay. And then we can also do the same thing for the list. For each string color in colors, and then console.writeLine color. I should add this like this. Okay. And then we have the dictionary, and as you can see, the dictionary has two values, key and then the value. Key is integer and then the value is string. So whenever we do that, we should consider this as well. So it will be of type key value pair, this one, and it will accept integer as the key and then string as the value. Then we name it student in students. Okay. And then we can say, for example, console.writeLine this is called, by the way, string interpolation, and we can say student's number. Okay, and this will be added between parentheses, and then you can say plus student's name key.value. Okay. Student.key, student.value, and it doesn't like this, yeah, because of the parentheses. Yeah, now it works fine. And let's just add the same as this for each one of them, just to present that we are right here, for example, showing the list, and right here showing the dictionary. Okay. And lastly, we show the class, which is console.writeLine, and then we just use the person dot name, and then plus person dot age. Okay, let's just decorate them with person's age. Okay, and here person's name, person's name. All right, and now, yeah, that looks complete. Let's debug our application. Okay, so we have the array 80, 97, 43, 12, 65, and then the list, red, green, blue, dictionary, student's number, student's name, and then the person's name and age. And of course, if you want them to be on the same line, you can just remove the line and it will just be writing them on the same line. But that means they're gonna be all stuck together for the array, so you might as well just add some spacing, maybe, I guess. Alright, and in the color you might add some spacing as well. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, execute. As you can see now, we can see them on the same line, but there's a slight problem, is that the list also is on the same line. So we need to do console.writeLine, an empty one just to separate them. Okay, array, list, and then the dictionary has the same problem as well. Okay, I'm sorry, this should be before the dictionary. Okay, yeah, now this is better. Alright, yeah, and that's pretty much it for the non-primitive types. Next, we will see the difference between primitive types and non-primitive types behind the scene, what's going on in the memory, and then we'll be having a quiz. Alright, so prepare yourself, guys. Thank you.